Great to be back in Fiserv. We waited so long to play. The guys have been so excited about it. So, just happy to be out here with our guys and have the chance to play this first game. I thought when we were at our best, we were really, really good and connected on the defensive end. There was a couple times we put ourselves in position where we could have really broken the game open and made a really big margin, but we didn't make the next few plays after that, whether it was on the offensive end or the defensive end. I thought we had a handful of guys that played really well and connected together, and then we had some other guys that, for whatever reason, probably various reasons, weren't as good as we need them to be, and that's the beauty of the first game. A lot of stuff to grow on, a lot of stuff to improve on. We play again Thursday, so that gives us 2 days, tomorrow and Wednesday, to really spend some time on some of the areas of the game that we can grow, that we saw tonight. It was great to see Oso attacking and playing with energy. I did think he got a little tired and affected by foul trouble in the second half, but really played well with his aggressiveness. I thought Tyler managed the game well, which was huge. And Stevie Mitchell, his energy was phenomenal. And to me, was a huge, huge domino for our team.
Shaka, your best stretch came in the second half with that lineup of Tyler, Chase,
Stevie, Oso, Omax.
Yeah, yep. What'd you like about the way those guys played together?
Man, I tell you what, I was, thinking we should just leave those guys in the game for the rest of the game. But then had some foul trouble, and then a couple guys were starting to get tired. But, we talked about having a defensive identity going into this game. I thought those 5 guys did a great job of that during that stretch. I thought we had some other guys that were not at their best defensively. There's probably a few reasons behind that. Maybe, first game jitters, maybe wanting to play so well offensively so much. But, we're still talking about guys that are kind of learning their roles and learning what it means and what it takes to be successful in that role. So from that standpoint, tonight was really, really good experience for those guys.
You just touched on it with the jitters. How do you think your team handled those opening night jitters from start to finish and then looking forward to Thursday?
I thought we handled it well at times, and then other times I thought that there was a little bit of frustration. Sometimes when you play in these games, there's a sense on the team, maybe the coaching staff, maybe even in the building with the crowd, we should be winning by more. We were winning pretty much the whole game, but there's a sense of, hey, we should be winning this game by more. And what that does is it takes you out of the moment, takes you out of the present. You're too caught up in the past, what just did happen, and in the future, what might happen. And the reality is for us, I thought when our guys were really locked in the moment, especially on the defensive end, getting their hands on the basketball, playing with great energy, we did a lot of good things, and that's when we extended the lead. Those guys came over to the bench at one point when Radford had to call timeout, and they said, this is really fun. So I thought, fun tonight was also synonymous with playing well. It's funny how that works. How we handled the jitters, some guys handled it better than others. But I think for every guy, every one of our scholarship guys that are healthy went in the game. I thought tonight was a good experience that we can build on.
Osho showed his importance for being out on the floor. You mentioned the foul trouble. What did you think of your options behind him in the front court?
We were a little bit fragmented, honestly, with who we were playing behind him and some of the lineups we had. We've played a lot of different guys with different lineups on teams without him in practice. And one of our scrimmages, the first one, he went down with an injury and only played 6 minutes. So we got a bunch of experience. But I thought, a couple of those guys were a little nervous at being their first game. And then we ended up going really, really small, which you can do against certain teams. I thought our guys did a pretty good job when we were small. But he's a huge key for us. I would say him and Tyler, they're two that we don't have anyone like them. So when they go out of the game, it's not like you have someone that is a perfect substitute for them. You just have to play a little bit differently.
I know you mentioned that Stevie started in the 2 scrimmages, but tonight he got the start in a game that mattered for the column. What just led to that? Was it to establish the press maybe a little bit earlier? Was that this?
No, we really wanted to play with a defensive identity. That was our theme. And you can't say we're all about playing with a defensive identity and not start Stevie Mitchell, because he gets his hands on the basketball more than anyone on our team. He does a great job defending his man. He does a really, really good job in team defense, helping his teammates. And I thought he did all those things tonight. And he also brought a level of energy and joy to the game that was needed, because at times we had other guys that got a little frustrated, and Stevie was a positive domino in that way.
You've called Chase a good blend guy on the court. We saw flashes of his disruption on defense today. What'd you like about his first game?
I thought he played really well, and he did blend really well. I think Chase is a guy that his impact on the game will be even bigger than any numbers would dictate. So he was plus 11 in the minutes he was in the game, but I think he played better than that. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and today was his first game as a freshman, and I thought he played with very, very good poise, with it being his first time out there on our home floor in college basketball.
Going back to that 16-0 run in that second half, I think Tyler had like 3 assists during that stretch. How was he able to kind of calm everybody down and get you guys back on the right track offensively?
Yeah. Well, a couple times in the timeouts, I was imploring our team, Tyler's going to pass the ball, and then the ball's going to move a little bit, and then if it gets back to him and we get to an action, one of you other 4 guys is going to get a wide open shot. It will happen. But if when he passes the ball, before it gets back to him, you want to dribble it 100 times, then we won't get as good of a shot. And I thought tonight, much like a lot of first games, we had the ball came to different guys, and they wanted to go make a play. And it's something we worked on, practiced quite a bit, something that we work on every day. But, man, it's like clockwork. Sometimes you get in that first game, and a guy wants to kind of show what he can do. That might have led to some of the 18 turnovers we had. But, again, when the ball came back to Tyler, and particularly when him and Oso were in some action together, a lot of good things happened. And that's no different than how we've played all fall and summer. So I thought he did a nice job moving the ball around and creating for his teammates.
Yeah, I was going to ask about those 18 turnovers. Did you think that was part of the jitters that you mentioned, or just figuring out how to play with each other?
Yeah, I think jitters. I think we had, honestly, there was a few, and I don't think it was so much the turnovers, Ben, but we did have some bad bounces that our guys didn't grab. That was more on our defensive end, though. I think the turnovers, when we watch them, not necessarily always hitting a teammate in the chin with the pass, a couple miscommunications. Sean just lost it a couple times. A lot of those turnovers, it's like, get the ball back to Tyler, please, and we won't turn it over. But, it's one of the challenges of being at this level. It's like, man, you've made it to this level. You've been recruited to this level. You've made it to the point where you're playing significant minutes. But then can you have the humility to understand, you know what, if there's not a closeout to attack, let me get the ball to this guy because he's a lead at creating something for the rest of our team. And that requires some real maturity. And we're young still. So we've got some guys that, we may have to learn that the hard way a little bit. But, we were able to get that stretch of stops where we were able to put that run together, and I thought that gave the guys some confidence, but then we let up a little bit. So certainly in your first game, you want to put together a 40-minute effort. Didn't happen tonight. Usually doesn't happen in your first game. The great thing is we get to play again on Thursday.
Now you talk about Tyler and being able to pass, and you talk about Tyler and Oso together. Tyler was able to find Oso open, as you said, that would have happened. So what did you think of them two gelling together nicely in this first game?
I thought they gelled really well. Really all spring and summer, Tyler, Cam, and Oso kind of as a threesome, those guys playing together. has been really, really good on the offensive end. Those guys creating different actions and playing off of one another. So I thought Tyler and Oso really did a nice job together. Cam didn't bring the defensive intensity that I thought he needed to bring. He's kind of the most effortless scorer we have, and he's going to get a lot of opportunities to score. But you noticed when we went on that run, he wasn't in the game because our 5 best defensive players in this game were in the game. But I thought Oso, Tyler, they did a great job playing off of each other.
You open up here, now you go back to the Owl for a game. How does that change with your approach over the next couple of days as you get them ready for a completely different atmosphere?
Just we'll practice in there. We haven't played any games there. We didn't play there last year, so it's a little bit unique. We're looking forward to it. It's the game. The basket's still 10 feet high. The court's still 94 feet. We're going to focus a lot more on the areas of culture, the areas of defense, the areas of offense that we can do better, whether the games, if I serve in the Owl, on the road, on Mars, those are the things that go into winning. So that's where we're going to put our focus.